Ladies and gentlemen, of the 118 scale, 3.75-inch, 4-inch modern action figure community, I'm back again with another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing none other than the 2020 release or re-release of the G.I. Joe Awe Striker and its driver, Crankcase. Now, Crankcase, his real name, A.W.E. Indiana. And that sounds like a city, but I don't know. And his birthplace is Lawrence, Kansas. Now, the original Awe Striker was released in 1985, and this looks like, so far from the artwork of the box, it looks like they tried to capture that essence in that same toy and figure that we got when we were children back in in 85. So make no mistakes, there were plenty of Awe Strikers out there. There was one released in 2008, I believe, on the 25th anniversary line. I think there was one released almost every year from 2008 all the way up to about 2015. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But for some reason, this seems like a vehicle that Hasbro keeps revisiting and putting out. So let's look at the box art here. Really cool. Looks just like the box art from back in the days. Of course, missing a real American hero. We don't get that anymore. Still got its Hasbro logo. And for all my OG G.I. Joe representatives, that logo right there, still the same. Of course, do not choke on this thing. You got no reason to be shoving this thing down your gullet. You know what I mean? Awesome. Here's your driver crankcase. And I've never seen that before, but it's recycled plastic insignia there. And that's what crankcase looks like. This is the side of the box. Bottom of the box got a lot of different information on it, and it's usually the same stuff. Just don't choke on it. And it has a bunch of details and serial numbers and the usual jargon. This is the other side. This is the top, and this is the back. All right. Here's your file card, participation trophy style. That's what I call it. And the reason I call it a participation trophy is because everyone gets a representation here, but not everyone needs a representation here. It doesn't make any difference. I'm sure that if you give him a classic file card, anybody from any country can pretty much figure out, what is being said there. And hey, I'm all good with releasing it in another language for us. I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But anyway, we're gonna get this thing open. Tape. We'll get it open, and I'm going to assemble this thing, and we're going to take a look at crankcase. So let's take a look at what we're getting in this box here. I don't want to damage the box. Awesome. File that box off to the side, and this is what the contents look like. So I think we'll take a look at crankcase first. He slips right out. That's what it looks like. And anyone who's seen the 1985 version will see that he's done very well. And these retro figures are pretty hit and miss these days. So I'm going to get him off of this plastic backing. Let's see what he stands up to. All right. He's not overly rubbery like some of the other figures. Removable helmet. He's got this web gear, molded gun, not removable. Pretty much plain Jane. I like him though. One thing is with the retro figures, they started to make them very pale with this very orange hair. But still, he's pretty cool. This is his helmet. This is what the helmet looks like. Got some straps. Pretty plain Jane. Cool helmet nonetheless. Drop that, of course. So let's take a quick 360 look at him. Green and brown shirt, green and khaki shirt. He's got these boots. He's got what looks like a spare magazine, but it's molded in. Nothing comes off of that. You can't add nothing to that. And this is pretty much what he looks like. He's a pretty plain Jane character or figure. Like the gold belt. Is that a Gucci belt? Nice. Anyway, black gloves. He is kind of rubbery, but he's not as rubbery as those the trooper figures and all. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave him right there. Hopefully I can get him to stand up. There you go. I don't know who designed this figure. Still cool. I still really like it, but he almost looks to me like a jockey. You know, look at him. He's got these tight pants, these high boots, and yeah, he almost looks like a jockey to me. You know, I don't know. Go ahead and stand him right there. Moving right along, we have these wheels. These are actually really cool wheels. And if you go on certain websites like eBay, and there's another one I can't think of off the top of my head, that you can buy parts for old G.I. Joe vehicles. These are wheels you want to have in your stockpile so that you can customize, because these look really good on other vehicles that you don't expect them to go on. They really look really good on. So try to keep some of these in your backup just in case you want to, you know, customize some things. So that's your 4 wheels. I'm gonna open them, see what we're getting here. Take one out. Hard plastic, but I mean, it should do the trick. They look really good. I thought with them being solid like that, they would be rubber and a plastic rim, but nope. Anyway, moving right along. This is the second bag you get, and this looks like a couple of the smaller parts, or the smaller accoutrements, like I like to say. So we have what looks like a cannon. Let's get a look at that. It is not a cheese ball spring-loaded firing cannon like Hasbro has been known to put out. It's a completely imagination based, which is, I think, in my opinion, is cooler. And it actually looks like a couple pieces went together to put this, or pieces went together to create this. So we'll move right along. Also in here, we have crankcases, figure stand. Let's go ahead and drop him on that. Bam. There you go. Last but not least, you have the actual body. Okay. I'm like, why does it look like it's mashed in? But of course, it needs to go peg onto that, and then of course it'll stand up. But this is the actual body, and looks pretty cool. In my opinion, I think this is one of the coolest vehicles to come out for G.I. Joe. But we'll take it one step further and keep looking. And you gotta appreciate the blueprints. I love blueprints. When you get these, back in the days when I was a kid and I'd get these, I'd file the blueprints and I'd keep them. I'd never let them go. I'd always keep the blueprints. And of course, this is something that's been known to be packaged with the vehicles these days and the figures these days, is this pamphlet of info. Of course, the usual. It probably matches up to what's on the bottom of the box, but you can read that when you pick these things up. Retro figures and vehicles all kind of have them. So Throw that back in there. Let's get a look at the blueprints. There you go. And I advise you, if you're going to be building these vehicles, take a look at the blueprints and make sure you're clear on where things go, because some of these vehicles, this may not be one of them because it looks like it's very well assembled and you just have to snap a couple pieces on. But sometimes you'll have these vehicles that you snap them together and you miss a part. You cannot get that vehicle back apart. You have to break it. So just be clear on these before you start assembling your vehicle. In this bag also that came with that had the cannon inside of it, it also has 2 antenna and 1 rubber hose. And as we assemble that, we'll figure out what it's all for. So simple enough. I'm gonna start out with this roll cage here. Snap that in place like so. Bam, bam. And if you look right here, you have to get that in. Let's try and work that in there first. There you go. There you go. And now we'll put those in. And this is the last part here. Slap that in. Okay, it wasn't too difficult. Just want to be careful not to break any of this. Okay, and that's in. Now I'll finish out by putting these centers on. Bam. 1, 2, 3. Cool. I also have a sticker sheet. If you look very closely, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but there's a couple stars and some really white insignia and decals. So there you go. I never put the decals on. You know, I usually just leave them off. So let's throw some tires or some wheels on. All right, that's the front. Let's go to the back. Awesome. Easy as 1, 2, 3. We'll go ahead and move that to the side. And if you notice with this vehicle, it has some pretty good suspension going on. That's always been a plus when I was a kid. You have good suspension for your toy vehicles. That really goes a long way. It's very loose, but really nice. Now I'm going to put this cannon on. Hopefully that's not too difficult. Bam, 1, 2, 3, right on there. Now we'll go ahead and put on these antennas. And as you see, this is not difficult at all. My comment about the about knowing the instructions was for more complex vehicles you put together. I know when I was a kid, I got the Cobra Rage, and I snapped that body together, and I missed a part, and I could not get it back apart. So do with it what you will. Now, last but not least, we have this hose. Where does it go? It looks like it comes off of here. Slide it on like that. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Hopefully. I mean, and if it's too difficult to get on there, just heat it up. It is kind of difficult to get that on there, but just heat it up and it should slide on. But I'm just going to do this for now. Put it down on this side. Yeah, I think it's the same story on this side. I ain't even gonna worry about that. But anyway, if you look, you have a removable, I guess, hood here. It's very windy out here. It's blowing my stuff around. So you got a hood here. You also have a removable engine. For all you people who love the mechanic life, there you go. They're looking out for you. All right, how does this go back on? Looks like that. Okay, simple enough. Very simple. It looks like it has space for 1, 2, and 2 hanger-ons. 3, 4. I personally wouldn't want to hang on to this because it looks like type of like a dune buggy vehicle that would be going over sand dunes and stuff. Whatever, I could be wrong. But yeah, I think with that being said, this setup here, I'm gonna give this a B plus because I like how they kept the character true to his original form, and also the original Striker is very similar to this one. I personally have never owned an Striker, but this one is really cool, and I like it. So yeah, with that being said, I think I'm going to call this video here. I appreciate you guys for checking this video out. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to link them down below. I'll get to them at my earliest convenience. And with that being said, I appreciate you all. Thank you.